Have you ever looked at yourself and wondered, why am I like this? Why do I think differently from people around me? Maybe you enjoy silence more than noise. Maybe you talk to yourself. Maybe you question things that other people accept without thinking. Maybe you stay awake at night, imagining new ideas, new plans, and new dreams. And sometimes you might think there is something wrong with you. But here's the truth. Those strange habits you have may actually be signs that your mind is special. Not average, not normal, but powerful, sharp, creative, and deeply intelligent. The world often misunderstands intelligent people because intelligence does not always look loud or confident. Many times it looks quiet, strange, different, unusual. People with high IQs often develop habits that society calls weird, but these habits are the secret signs of a brilliant brain. Today on English Achieve, we are going to explore the 11 weird habits that prove you have an extremely high IQ. These habits might surprise you. Some might make you laugh. Some might make you feel understood. And some might make you realize that you are smarter than you ever believed. So stay with me until the end, because every habit you discover will teach you something important about who you are and how your mind works. And at the end, you will understand your strengths in a new light. Get ready, because this might be one of the most eye-opening videos you will ever watch. Habit 1. You talk to yourself more than you talk to others. People with extremely high intelligence often talk to themselves far more than they talk to other people, and most of the time they don't even notice it happening. Maybe you catch yourself whispering your thoughts while walking alone. Maybe you quietly practice a conversation before meeting someone important. Maybe you explain your ideas out loud even when your room is completely silent. To the outside world, this habit might look strange or unusual. Some people might think you are nervous, anxious, or lonely. But the truth is very different. Talking to yourself is actually one of the clearest signs that your mind is active, organized, and working at a high level. When intelligent people speak out loud, they are not being odd. They are using a powerful mental tool. By verbalizing your thoughts, you are slowing down the fast, complex ideas inside your mind so you can understand them more clearly. You are taking something chaotic and turning it into something structured. You are transforming thoughts into lessons. In many ways, it is like turning your mind into a classroom where you are both the teacher and the student at the same time. You ask questions, explain answers, challenge your own reasoning, and guide your brain step by step. People with high IQs often think at a rapid pace. Their minds jump from idea to idea, making connections and exploring possibilities faster than others. Speaking out loud helps to organize this fast thinking. It helps you break big problems into smaller pieces. It helps you process emotions, make decisions, and analyze situations with greater clarity. This is why many geniuses, writers, inventors, and deep thinkers throughout history talk to themselves regularly. They understood that speaking out loud helps the brain focus, reflect, and sharpen understanding. It reduces mental noise and brings forward the most important ideas. So if you talk to yourself, it doesn't mean you are strange. It doesn't mean you are lonely. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. In fact, it means the opposite. You have a busy, creative, and highly active mind that is constantly working through thoughts, goals, dreams, and challenges. It means you are self-aware enough to guide your own thinking. It means you are intelligent enough to use your own voice as a tool for clarity, motivation, and problem-solving. Your self-talk is not a weakness. It is a powerful sign of the intelligence that lives inside you. Habit 2. You are often lost in your own world. Highly intelligent people rarely live only in the physical world. They live deeply and comfortably inside the world of their own mind. This is a clear sign of a high IQ. You might be sitting with friends, but your thoughts drift far away, toward an idea, a memory, a plan, or a dream that feels more meaningful than the conversation in front of you. Sometimes you suddenly realize that someone was talking and you didn't catch a single word. Not because you were disrespectful, but because your imagination pulled you into a different dimension of thought. People may call you distracted, spaced out, or not paying attention. But what they fail to understand is that your mind is always active, always analyzing, always exploring deeper layers of reality. Your inner world often feels more alive, more colorful, and more interesting than the outer world around you. This is not a weakness. This is one of the greatest strengths of highly intelligent people. Creative thinkers, inventors, scientists, writers, innovators, and problem solvers throughout history spent long hours wandering through their thoughts. They weren't daydreaming just for pleasure. They were building ideas, solving problems, imagining possibilities, and exploring new worlds that didn't exist yet. Albert Einstein was famous for this. He often said that his best thinking did not happen in a laboratory surrounded by machines. It happened inside his imagination, where there were no limits. Many geniuses were misunderstood because they were constantly lost in thought. But in reality, they were simply working on a mental level that others could not see. If you often drift into deep thought, if you disappear into your imagination without even realizing it, if you find comfort in thinking about life, meaning, purpose, and ideas, then don't worry. You're not strange. You're not careless. You're not disconnected. You are simply using the most powerful tool a human being has, the creative and analytical space inside your own mind. Intelligent ideas do not appear in busy, noisy environments. They appear in silence, in stillness, and in those moments when your mind travels far beyond your surroundings. So the next time someone calls you distracted, remember this truth. You are not lost. You are simply exploring the place where great ideas are born, where dreams start forming, and where intelligent minds do their most powerful work. Habit 3. You feel drained after social interactions. High IQ individuals often feel mentally exhausted after social interactions, and this can be confusing both for you and for the people around you. This is not a weakness. It is a sign of a high IQ. It's not because you dislike people, and it's not because you are shy or antisocial. It's because your mind works differently. Your brain analyzes everything happening during a conversation. While others simply talk for fun or pass the time, you are reading tone, facial expressions, hidden intentions, emotional signals, energy shifts, and subtle details that most people never notice. Your mind tries to understand the deeper meaning behind every word, every pause, every look. This level of mental processing takes energy. It's like your brain is running a complex software program in the background while you are trying to socialize on the surface. Even a simple conversation can feel heavy because you experience it on a deeper level. This is why after a party, a gathering, a meeting, or even a long conversation with someone, you might feel tired, not physically, but mentally. Your brain simply needs silence to recover and reorganize all the data it processed. People around you may misunderstand this and think you don't enjoy spending time with others. They may think something is wrong with you. But the truth is that your mind is simply wired for depth, not for noise. Intelligent people prefer meaningful one-on-one conversations where ideas, emotions, and thoughts are exchanged honestly. They don't enjoy shallow talk or empty chatter that leads nowhere. They value quality over quantity, understanding over entertainment, and connection over popularity. Highly intelligent individuals also tend to feel social fatigue when surrounded by too many people because they absorb emotions like a sponge. They sense tension, excitement, insecurity, dishonesty, or stress in the room, even if no one says it out loud. They process every emotional detail, and this drains their mental battery faster than it does for others. So if you feel tired after social events, remember this: nothing is wrong with you. In fact, it is a sign that your brain operates at a higher, more sensitive, and more analytical level than the average person. You don't need to force yourself to be overly social. You don't need to pretend to enjoy things that drain you. Embrace your nature, protect your energy, and give yourself the quiet moments you need to recharge. Your need for space is not a flaw. It is one of the signs of your deep intelligence. Habit 4. You have trouble sleeping because your mind won't stop thinking. Do you ever lie in bed at night, close your eyes, and instead of relaxing, your brain suddenly becomes more alive, more energetic, and more active than it was all day? This is a clear sign of a high IQ. You start thinking about everything: your goals, your dreams, your worries, your mistakes, your future, your plans, your conversations, your ideas, and even the smallest thoughts that hide in the corners of your mind. For many people, nighttime is when the world becomes quiet. But for highly intelligent individuals, nighttime is when the mind becomes loud. Your brain doesn't like to shut down easily. It continues exploring, analyzing, imagining, and connecting ideas long after your body is ready to rest. While some people fall asleep in minutes, your mind opens the door to deeper thinking the moment the lights go off. This is why you may struggle to sleep even when you are physically exhausted. Because mentally, you are still running a marathon. Many of the most brilliant minds in history struggled with the same problem. Nikola Tesla often slept only a few hours because his brain was constantly full of inventions and ideas. Isaac Newton sometimes went days with little sleep because he couldn't stop thinking about problems he wanted to solve. They weren't trying to stay awake on purpose. Their minds were simply too active, too curious, too wide awake. That doesn't mean insomnia is good or healthy, but it shows something important. Your brain is wired for deep thinking. You don't just think, you think intensely. You don't just analyze, you analyze deeply. You don't just reflect, you reflect in layers. That level of mental activity naturally keeps you awake longer than others. If you struggle with sleep because your thoughts multiply at night, don't think something is wrong with you. You're not overthinking for no reason. You are processing the world in a deeper, more complex way. Your mind needs time to explore all the thoughts you weren't able to finish during the day. It is during these quiet hours that ideas grow, creativity wakes up, connections form, and insights appear. Yes, it can be exhausting. Yes, it can be frustrating. But it is also one of the strongest signs that you possess an active, intelligent, and highly aware mind. Instead of fighting your thoughts, understand them. Instead of blaming yourself, appreciate the depth of your thinking. Your sleepless nights don't make you weak. They reveal the extraordinary power of the mind that lives inside you. Habit 5. You enjoy spending time alone more than with people. Highly intelligent people often enjoy solitude far more than social interaction, and this preference is one of the clearest signs of a deep-thinking mind. When you spend time alone, you don't feel lonely. You feel free. You feel calm. You feel like you can finally breathe without interruptions, without noise, without expectations. Your own mind becomes your best company. In solitude, you can think clearly, dream boldly, imagine new possibilities, and explore the parts of yourself that the world never gets to see. You don't need constant entertainment because your imagination entertains you. You don't need a crowd because your curiosity fills the room. You don't need people to make you feel whole because your thoughts, ideas, and reflections create a world rich with meaning. This is why intelligent individuals often prefer quiet mornings, slow evenings, and peaceful hours alone where the mind can wander freely. Society, however, often misunderstands this. Many people believe that someone who enjoys alone time is antisocial, shy, or disconnected. But solitude is not a weakness. It is a powerful environment for personal growth. It is the soil where intelligence grows strongest roots. Writers, philosophers, scientists, artists, inventors, and great thinkers throughout history relied on long periods of solitude to create their greatest work. They understood that in silence, the mind awakens. In quiet moments, ideas form. In loneliness, clarity rises. When you're alone, no one interrupts your thoughts. No one judges your ideas. No one pulls your attention in 100 directions. You have space to understand yourself, to evaluate your emotions, to study your goals, and to build your future with intention. Many intelligent people find that solitude gives them energy, while social interaction drains it. After being alone, they feel refreshed, focused, motivated, and centered. But after being around too many people for too long, they feel cluttered, distracted, and mentally exhausted. This doesn't mean you dislike people. It simply means your brain values depth, peace, and reflection more than noise and chaos. So if you enjoy spending time alone, understand this. You are not strange. You are not distant. You are not avoiding life. In fact, you are living with more awareness, more insight, and more intention than most people ever will. Your love for solitude is a reflection of your inner richness, the depth of your thoughts, the strength of your imagination, and the intelligence that guides your life from within. Habit 6. You notice small details that other people miss. One of the most powerful and often overlooked signs of a high IQ is the ability to notice the smallest details that others completely miss. Highly intelligent people seem to have a natural radar for patterns, inconsistencies, and subtle changes in their environment or in people's behavior. You might notice a tiny shift in someone's tone of voice, a fleeting facial expression, or a small mistake that no one else even acknowledges. To most people, these details appear insignificant, but for a sharp mind, they hold clues, signals, and information that can make all the difference. Your brain processes far more information at every moment than the average person realizes. And this constant observation allows you to understand the world at a deeper level. You don't just see what is happening on the surface. You sense the undercurrents beneath it, the hidden intentions, and the patterns that most people overlook. This ability to notice details is why intelligent people can often predict outcomes before they happen, or sense that something is wrong even before anyone says a word. It is why they can read situations more accurately and make decisions with foresight that surprises others. People around you may think you are too sensitive, too serious, or overanalyzing when you pay attention to the tiniest elements of a situation. They may dismiss your observations or fail to understand why you noticed something that seems so small. But what they fail to see is that this ability is not a flaw. It is a sign of a mind that is always alert, analytical, and highly capable of connecting dots that others cannot see. Noticing small details also enhances your creativity and problem-solving abilities. When you see patterns and connections that are invisible to others, you are able to develop solutions, predict consequences, and generate ideas in ways most people cannot. This is why inventors, strategists, writers, and thinkers who change the world often have this habit in common. They notice what everyone else ignores. So if you often catch things that others miss, or if you find yourself observing, analyzing, and thinking about small details, it is not because you are overly critical or unusual. It is because your mind is working at a level that requires focus, precision, and insight. Your attention to detail is one of your greatest strengths, and it is a clear sign of a sharp, intelligent, and deeply analytical mind. It is a gift that allows you to see the world more clearly, act more wisely, and understand life on a level most people never reach. Habit 7. You question everything, even the things people accept as normal. High IQ individuals rarely accept things just because everyone else does. And this habit of questioning everything is one of the clearest indicators of an active, intelligent mind. Your mind is naturally curious. You want to understand why things exist, why people behave the way they do, and why the world operates under certain rules. You don't settle for surface-level explanations or unquestioned traditions. You want logic, evidence, and clarity. This constant questioning may sometimes make you seem rebellious, difficult, or even stubborn to people around you. But in reality, it is a sign of strong critical thinking and independent reasoning. Intelligent people don't blindly follow traditions, beliefs, rules, or opinions. They observe, analyze, and form their own understanding. They are not afraid to challenge common ideas, to say, "This doesn't make sense," or to imagine that there might be a better way of doing things. Throughout history, this habit has been the driving force behind extraordinary discoveries and innovations. Scientists challenged long-held beliefs about the universe, questioning the authority of centuries of accepted knowledge. Inventors refused to accept that machines could not do more than what existed, and they pushed boundaries to create innovations that changed the world. Philosophers and thinkers questioned societal norms, morality, and human behavior, rewriting how generations think. High IQ individuals often follow the same path in their daily lives, even on a smaller scale. They notice inconsistencies, question assumptions, and explore alternative perspectives. They analyze not just what is being said or done, but why it is happening and whether it could be done differently. Questioning everything also fuels creativity and problem solving. When you refuse to accept the obvious answer or the simplest explanation, you are forced to think deeper, make connections that others miss, and develop solutions that most people cannot see. You are not challenging for the sake of being difficult. You are seeking understanding, clarity, and improvement. If you constantly ask questions, it means your mind is alive, constantly exploring possibilities, and never satisfied with ignorance. It means you value knowledge over comfort, truth over conformity, and understanding over approval. This habit is not a flaw. It is a superpower. It allows you to navigate life with intelligence, curiosity, and insight. Your questions reveal that your mind is not only working hard, but thinking beyond what is ordinary, beyond what is accepted, and beyond what is comfortable. In every question you ask, you are strengthening the intelligence, creativity, and critical thinking that make you truly exceptional. Habit 8. You get bored with small talk and prefer deep conversations. People with high intelligence often find small talk exhausting, and this is not because they are rude or uninterested in others, but because their minds crave meaning, depth, and insight. Talking about the weather, gossip, or random daily events can feel empty, repetitive, and almost meaningless to someone whose mind is wired to explore ideas, possibilities, and understanding. For highly intelligent individuals, life is too rich, too complex, and too fascinating to waste time on superficial conversation. Instead, they are drawn to discussions that challenge the mind, explore human behavior, and examine the mysteries of life. They want to talk about dreams, purpose, philosophy, psychology, self-improvement, and ways to make the world a better place. They want connections that are authentic, meaningful, and inspiring. Conversations that leave them feeling enlightened rather than drained. This is why intelligent people often feel out of place in social situations dominated by shallow talk. It's not that they dislike people. It's that they are wired differently. Their minds operate on a different wavelength. Highly intelligent individuals crave mental stimulation, growth, and ideas. They enjoy exploring new perspectives, learning new concepts, and diving into topics that challenge their thinking. Small talk rarely offers these opportunities. Instead, it feels like noise to a mind that is built for depth. They often seek others who can match their level of curiosity, imagination, and insight. Conversations about ideas, the meaning of life, human nature, and the future energize them, while casual chit-chat often leaves them feeling bored or unfulfilled. They are not seeking to show off their intelligence. They are seeking connection that matters, understanding that resonates, and discussions that expand both their knowledge and perspective. This preference for deep conversation is also a sign of emotional intelligence. Highly intelligent people are sensitive to the energy of interactions. They notice when a conversation is shallow, meaningless, or repetitive, and they instinctively steer away from it. Not to be rude, but to preserve their mental and emotional energy for interactions that have substance. If you often find yourself disinterested in small talk and drawn to deeper discussions, it is a clear sign that your intelligence reaches far beneath the surface. You are wired to explore, understand, and grow. You value quality over quantity, depth over superficiality, and meaning over empty chatter. This is not a flaw. It is a powerful advantage that allows you to connect with ideas, people, and experiences on a level that few others can reach. Habit 9. You sometimes forget simple things because your mind is too busy with deep thoughts. This might sound unusual, but one of the lesser-known signs of high intelligence is the tendency to forget simple, everyday things. Highly intelligent people often misplace their keys, forget what they were about to say, or lose track of small tasks they had planned to do. To an outsider, this might appear as carelessness or absent-mindedness, but in reality, it is a sign of a mind that is operating on a much deeper level. Your brain prioritizes big ideas, complex problems, and intricate thoughts over mundane details. When your mind is busy analyzing, imagining, or creating, it naturally allocates more energy and attention to these higher-level processes, leaving little mental space for remembering small, routine information. This is why intelligent people are sometimes labeled as forgetful or scatterbrained. They are not being careless. They are simply focused on the larger picture, the ideas that truly matter, and the mental work that drives growth, creativity, and problem-solving. Highly intelligent minds are constantly processing, connecting, and exploring ideas, even when it seems like they are doing nothing at all. While most people are focused on completing simple tasks or keeping track of everyday routines, a high IQ individual is often preoccupied with abstract thinking, possibilities, and long-term strategies. Their energy goes into understanding life on a deeper level rather than remembering trivial details. This explains why you may sometimes walk into a room and forget why you came there, or why you may pause mid-conversation because your mind is already somewhere else, envisioning, calculating, or analyzing. Forgetting small things is simply the price of mental depth. It is a trade-off that allows you to think creatively, solve problems effectively, and see patterns and connections that most people miss. So, if you often feel absent-minded, don't feel bad about it. Forgetting simple tasks or details is not a flaw. It is a reflection of a highly active, intelligent brain that is always operating at a higher level. Your focus on the bigger picture, your drive to understand, and your curiosity about life demand mental energy that ordinary details cannot compete with. Being forgetful in everyday matters is actually a subtle badge of intelligence. It shows that your mind is busy with the work that truly matters: deep thinking, problem-solving, and innovation. The next time you misplace something or forget a minor task, remind yourself that your intelligence is simply prioritizing the things that ordinary minds rarely notice or contemplate. Your mind is too busy with greatness to dwell on the small stuff. Habit 10. You have a dark sense of humor and you laugh at things others don't understand. Highly intelligent people often have a sense of humor that stands apart from the ordinary. Their humor is complex, dark, sarcastic, or unconventional, and they frequently find themselves laughing at things that leave others puzzled or even uncomfortable. You might enjoy jokes or observations that seem twisted or unusual, or you might notice irony and patterns that most people overlook entirely. This is not just a quirk. It is a sign of a mind that is agile, creative, and capable of connecting ideas in ways that are unexpected and insightful. Intelligent people see links between seemingly unrelated concepts, and humor is one of the clearest examples of this ability in action. When you laugh at something that others don't understand, it shows that your mind is processing layers of meaning, context, and connections that the average person may never notice. Humor, especially when it is dark or abstract, requires several advanced mental skills. It demands creativity, the ability to think outside conventional norms, mental flexibility, and precise timing. Understanding and appreciating such humor means that your brain can hold multiple ideas at once, see hidden relationships, and anticipate the subtle twist that makes something funny. Studies even show that individuals who enjoy complex or dark humor tend to score higher on intelligence tests, indicating a clear link between humor and cognitive ability. For high IQ individuals, laughter is not just a reaction, it is a mental exercise. Every joke, every sarcastic remark, every ironic observation is an opportunity to recognize patterns, reinterpret ideas, and explore the world in a more nuanced way. This unique sense of humor also reflects the way intelligent people view the world. They often see things that others miss, notice the absurdity in ordinary situations, and challenge conventional thinking. While many people rely on simple, surface-level jokes, intelligent minds thrive on humor that engages their intellect, creativity, and perception of life's complexities. So, if you often find yourself laughing at jokes or ideas that others don't get, or if your humor is a little darker, sharper, or more intricate than those around you, it is a sign that your mind operates differently. It sees the world from a unique perspective, finding amusement and insight in places where others see nothing. Your humor is not just entertainment. It is a reflection of your intelligence, creativity, and the way your mind interprets life with depth, flexibility, and originality. Habit 11. You are not afraid to be different. The final habit, and perhaps the most powerful of all, is the courage to be different. Highly intelligent people are rarely afraid to stand out or go against the grain. They do not need to conform, seek approval, or follow societal expectations. They understand that their uniqueness is a strength, not a weakness. While others may feel pressured to fit in, follow trends, or act normal, intelligent individuals embrace their differences and allow their minds to lead the way. They follow their curiosity, their passions, and their own path, even when it means going against what is considered conventional. They do not pretend, they do not hide, and they do not alter themselves to make others comfortable. This fearless embrace of individuality is not arrogance. It is the natural result of a mind that thinks independently, deeply, and creatively. Throughout history, nearly every genius, innovator, and visionary was misunderstood at first. Great thinkers were often called strange, visionaries were labeled unrealistic, and inventors were dismissed as impossible dreamers. Yet these individuals persisted, not because they were immune to criticism, but because they valued the strength of their own mind over society's judgment. They trusted their thinking, their creativity, and their instincts more than they feared disapproval. Intelligent people understand that conformity is the enemy of innovation. They know that to truly achieve, to truly create, and to truly understand life in depth, they must honor their own perspective, even if it clashes with the world around them. Being unafraid to be different also reflects emotional strength and self-awareness. It requires confidence, resilience, and the ability to embrace solitude when necessary. It requires recognizing that societal opinions are temporary, but the insight of a curious, creative, and independent mind is lasting. If you consistently refuse to hide your true self, Explore ideas that others avoid, or pursue paths that others consider strange. It is a clear sign that your intelligence is powerful. It shows that your mind operates beyond social norms and ordinary expectations. You are not limited by the fear of judgment. You are not constrained by conventional thinking. Instead, you are free to explore, create, question, and innovate. This habit of embracing your uniqueness, of thinking differently, and of living authentically is one of the most defining traits of highly intelligent people. If you have this habit, your mind is strong, your vision is clear, and your potential is limitless. Your willingness to be different is proof that your intelligence is not just about knowledge. It is about courage, creativity, and the power to shape your own life. Final message. Your difference is your power. So now you know the truth. Your so-called weird habits are not random quirks or flaws. They are clear signs of intelligence, creativity, depth, and extraordinary potential. The world may not always understand the way your mind works, but that doesn't matter. What truly matters is that you understand yourself, recognize your strengths, and trust your own path. Your curiosity, your independence, and your unique perspective are your greatest assets. On English Achieve, we celebrate minds like yours, minds that question, explore, imagine, and create. Never feel ashamed of the way you think. Never try to hide your passion for learning or your desire to see the world differently. Never shrink to fit into a mold that was never made for you. You were not born to be average. You were born to think differently, act boldly, and rise higher than most people dare to dream. Embrace your uniqueness. Embrace your intelligence. Embrace the habits that make you exceptional. The world needs minds like yours. Minds that think deeper, question more, dream bigger, and believe in a brighter future. Keep walking your path with confidence and courage, and your intelligence will guide you toward the life you were always meant to live.